In terms of the toughest decision I've had to make over the last 8 to 10 months, there are lots of times things have been really rocky and I've questioned if I'm doing the right thing, if this is what I'm meant for, if I'm able to do justice to something like this, if this is too ambitious, if this will have impact. So even though this has been the most inspired and most engaging part of my life, it has been, to a huge extent, traumatic.
Last October, Shilpika Gautam of the Ganges stand-up paddleboard team set off on a journey to the source of the Ganga River, Gangotri, Uttarakhand. In early January, 102 days and 2,977 kilometers later, she and her team reached Gangasagar in the Bay of Bengal. Their expedition was entirely human-powered. Shilpika Gautam broke the Guinness World Record for the longest stand-up paddleboard journey by a female in a single journey from source to sea. But this trip wasn't about setting records. Gautam led the expedition to examine the health of the Ganga River and better understand the communities who live along the banks that depend on the river and worship it too. It also became a journey of self-discovery for the team.
कितना दूर से नदी से है? 3 महीना से खाना पीना
नाइट में कैंपिंग
Tracker switch off for the last time.
Kolkata, India's oldest operational port, third largest urban population and a city suffering from severe air and water pollution. It's also the last stop for the Ganges sub-team before reaching the finish line. The team originally started off with 5 members. Due to the challenges of a long expedition, Shilpika and Kumaran reached the finish line together.
So today was meant to be a planned rest day, so we moved it forward for the 6th of January. And the idea was to use this rest day not just to recover from all the marathon making things we've been doing on the paddleboard, but also to find a boat. We're now in Kolkata, so to get to Gangasagar, which is our final push, we need a boat. We could potentially slum it out and get there otherwise, but it's really not ideal for an expedition that's taken so long to plan, and we want to finish it in a really meaningful way. So we've had a few changes today. We've lost another team member, but we feel like, people make decisions and that's all up to them. But team is still here. It's 2 of us now. So together we're trying to figure out a few things. First, there's a new issue of getting permissions to get to Gangasagar because there has been a bit of a restricted movement issue right in the area where we want to finish. Timing क्या है आपका यहाँ पे 12 बजे से? Let's find something anyways. So we just went to the river police office now to inquire about permissions to get a boat and to get to Gangasagar. We ran into a not so senior guy, but he gave us some heads up that the senior guy will arrive around 11:30, 12. Now it's 9:20. Fingers crossed. This final stretch is so important. Wow. भैया आप इधर ये कितना पैसा लगेगा एक दिन का? आइडिया तो दो.
अभी ऑफिस खुला नहीं, वो ऑफिस है 10 बजे तक वहाँ खुलेगा तब वहाँ बात करिए.
The 400 million or so people who reside along the Ganga rely on its water for survival, bathing, pleasure and worship. In Kolkata, the fecal coliform levels are 28% higher than the Central Pollution Control Board standard for outdoor bathing, similar to having a piece of poop in hand instead of a bar of soap.
The river itself, it got a lot wider in parts, and it was so wide in parts that if you actually started to think about what kind of a size you're paddling, it is pretty scary. That was not any worse than, say, what we saw in Kanpur. So it's the big cities are always disgusting. The big cities, when you have the man bathing next to a dead cow, that happens on all the smaller ghats along the river anyways. It's part of life. And when you're in a city like Patna and you see this guy who obviously should know that that's just literally like a dead body there, and people find it, immensely satisfying and amazing to bathe in the river.
जैसे हम लोग गंगा को देखते हैं माँ की तरह, तो एक मन में आदर भाव है, सम्मान है, मेरी माँ है, इनको किस तरह से हम साफ रखें, किस तरह से इनका जल का मार्जन करें, स्नान करें, जिससे हमारे हिंदुओं के प्रति जो भावनाएं हैं उनको हम लोग उनको आदर की दृष्टि से, सम्मान की दृष्टि से देखते हैं। और कुछ ऐसे लोग भी हैं जो फैक्ट्रियों का भी पानी उसमें छोड़ देते हैं, जिससे बहुत ज़्यादा गंदगी उत्पन्न होती है। उसमें तीर्थयात्रियों को, स्नानार्थियों को, स्नान करने वालों को, हमारी बहुत सारी माताएं हैं जिन्हें दैनिक स्नान करती हैं, तमाम लोगों को परेशानियां होती हैं। तो वो एक सम्मान की दृष्टि से मुझे थोड़ा सा ख़राब लगता है, जो नहीं होना चाहिए।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
काशी में अगर गंगा नहीं है, बाबा विश्वनाथ नहीं है, तो काशी का महत्व ही नहीं है। वरुणा और असी के बीच में काशी है। तो आध्यात्मिक दृष्टि से और हम लोगों को जो बताया गया है, असी और वरुणा के बीच में काशी है। तो काशी बिना गंगा के काशी अधूरा है। आप शुरू कीजिए, बनारस रामनगर से बगल में है, यहीं पर मिल्कीपुर एक गांव है, वहाँ सारा फैक्ट्री का पानी अभी भी गंगा में आ रहा है, वो बहुत पोल्यूटेड है। उसके बाद आप रविदास गेट के पास जाएंगी तो वहाँ पूरा खुला नाला का पानी गिर रहा है, बहुत गंदा पानी है। इस तरह से आप शहरों में जाएंगे, आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे, शिवाला घाट है, आगे बढ़ते जाइए, तमाम जगहों पे आपको खुले नाले का पानी जो गंगा में गिर रहा है।
This is the main drawback of the Varanasi city. This is because this STP, 50 MLD STP, is upstream of the Ganga. River flows like this, and this is the upstream. Whole dirty water is passing through the this city along the ghats. This is the most important project in my view. Sewage of District 3 will be going to Nagwa pumping station, which has been constructed 10 years back, and this sewage is proposed to be pumped from this station to the Ramna STP for treatment. And Ramna, unfortunately, Ramna STP is still to be constructed, and it is government to decide whether this will be constructed, and when it will be constructed, it is up to the India government.
The last time I was in Varanasi was donkey years ago, like it was just a long time ago. And I remember we were visiting family here and we went sari shopping, so very disconnected from, you know, how I've sort of arrived into the city this time, you know, on the river and, you know, paddling in and seeing the ghats first before, you know, you see the city. It is really intense. There's a lot going on, but I almost had goosebumps when I arrived, you know, just to see the city first at night and to see all the history and to sort of have that against a very modern backdrop and, you know, context and what, you know, what we've seen so far, which is, it's always a shock coming into a big city, but Varanasi is just like, whoa, in your face. And it's just an amplification of what we're seeing in small forms, whether it's burning bodies, whether it's people bathing in the Ganga, but it's all happening in this really small, intense space, which is normal for most people, but, you know, like, it's just a different looking glass for me this time. The challenge really has been predicting what the river's going to do. You know, the river, especially when it's meandering a lot, adds a lot more distance to what is projected per the official Ganges distance. So, for example, we're already overshooting some days by about 10, 12 kilometers, which means we're paddling late and into the dark, also very dangerous. There's a lot of crosswinds action that is probably going to happen. Downstream of Varanasi, there's a lot of rivers joining the main Ganges, which can create a lot of currents and strange volume. There's a lot more river traffic that is not us on the river, so especially steamers, anything that's motorized creates a huge amount of waves, which is really dangerous for our little, like, small floating objects, really destabilizing as well, and, you know, any collision of any sort is going to do a board in, so that we have to be really mindful of. So in a lot of ways, we're doing a survey and a mapping that doesn't exist. So we're contributing to the form and the visualization of the Ganges and the map as of now. So we're making it current, but through discovery, which is sometimes a lot more paddling, and, you know, it's exhausting and it's dangerous just paddling into the dark.
In India, the Ganga river dolphin has been formally adopted as a national aquatic animal. It's been accorded the highest legal protection in the Indian Wildlife Act of 1972. Studies conducted by WWF India and the Uttar Pradesh government in 2012 and 2015 recorded approximately 187 and 223 river dolphins respectively between Fatehpur and Varanasi. The Ganges sub-team spotted 45 and 111 in these very same areas.
One of the ideas of using for using stand-up paddleboarding specifically as our mode of transport is the newness and the uniqueness of it. Because really, if you look from afar, it kind of looks like we're gliding on water, but there's also like what are these people doing on this super big river, like going on these small little crafts. So there's a huge intrigue, and the most amazing thing is how there is this SMS-led movement across the villages on the banks to inform the village ahead that these crazy people are coming. So every single time, this is without fail, every single time we pass a village, the whole village is waiting. It makes me wonder what these people do for a living, but they're there every single time, and they're all waving, and they're always without fail, and sometimes quite annoyingly when you're super tired, they're like, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. And I'm like, no, you come here. And they're like, no, come here, come here. And they always want to interact. And I'm sort of like, very nice to meet you, namaste, thank you, and, you know, how are you? I ask that without fail. I'm like, you know, how are you? How's it going? And there is this huge amount of curiosity, and the kids will always ask, especially if they're looking down from a bank, what is that? They always ask, where are you coming from? Where are you going? They would generally be like, oh, so you're going to Haridwar. I'm like, no, that's the wrong way. I think we're really desensitized to the idea of people being burnt in the banks or dead bodies, you know, just around us, dogs, like eating these dead bodies and us having lunch right next to it. You know, how do you reconcile that with like the idea that we're trying to like question this? You know, you just become really desensitized. But Varanasi sort of brings it all together because everything's happening in this same like square, like kilometers, or like a stretch of a kilometer. Although this expedition has taught me to question everything, to see what was familiar, what I would just pass by and then, you know, not even question, to start to understand what people are doing, you know, whether the person who's taking a dip in the Ganga in the morning is thinking about the water quality, whether, the person who is drinking their chai and then trashing it somewhere on the banks before going into a puja is thinking about where that little cup is going, whether these kids who live their life on the banks, are they safe, where do they go use the toilet, how are they living their life, and things that I would just not think about.
जैसे हम अपने मन को, चित्त को, शरीर को साफ रखते हैं, हम उसी तरह से चाहते हैं कि गंगा में भी किसी भी तरह का कोई कूड़ा या कोई भी केमिकल, कोई भी नाला न जाए, जिससे माँ गंगा अविरल बहती रहे, जिससे हमें जो अनुभूति मिली, जो सुख मिला, जो शांति प्रदान जो मिला, वो मेरे आने वाले कई पीढ़ियों को इसी तरह से मिलता जाए।
और अगर एक लें, आपको पता है गंगा कहाँ खत्म होती है? कोलकाता में। अरे वाह! Kanpur was actually the first city where the quality of water dramatically deteriorated. It was manky, it was disgusting, it smelled. So as soon as you go past Kanpur Bridge, there's a stench that hits you, and then you see this foam, and then you connect the two, and then you see this humongous sewer line emptying an entire city's waste.
This is Kanpur, better known as Leather City. It's the economic powerhouse of Uttar Pradesh and India's second largest industrial urban centre after Delhi. It generates a massive $17 billion in GDP, but also tons of industrial and domestic waste, making it the most toxic destination along the Ganga.
बच्चों ने अपने स्कूल का नाम खत्म किया कि नहीं जाएंगे, पहले शौचालय बनाएंगे तब।
So Kalavati ji was the tour de force in constructing a 55-seat toilet.
To tackle the problem of open defecation and meet the targets set by the Swachh Bharat mission, India will have to build 65,000 toilets every day by September 2019.
10-10, 15-15 के ग्रुप में मिलकर के लोगों ने समरसिबल लगवाया, अपने यहाँ वाटर कनेक्शन लिया।
This community used to have 3 sources of water. 2 of them were hand pumps. One of them is actually over there. That was contaminated. The 3rd source came from the Ganga barrage. It was actually a pipeline that's used to air out the barrage or something, but there was water dripping from it that they were using. Chalo, chale? नहा लेना अब इस पानी से।
हम लोग पानी
नहीं।
ना ही कोई नेता यहाँ के विकास के लिए आता है, सिर्फ तब आते हैं जब उनको आखिरी वक्त पे वोट मांगना होता है, तो भी एक बार टर्न करते हैं, दोबारा नहीं आते। सभी लोगों ने अपना पर्सनल पाइप और अपना टोटी वगैरह निकाल करके, टैप ले करके, और अपने अपने घरों में इन लोगों ने वाटर कनेक्शन कर लिया। तो इसकी वजह से इन लोगों के जीवन में अब ये लोग खुद कहते हैं कि दीदी हमारी बीमारियाँ 40% से 30% कम हो गई, अब सिर्फ 30% बची हैं, 25% बची हैं। हम लोग उस स्वच्छता में जीने लगे हैं।
This is really heavy across people living across embankment of Ganges. So this has been proven by Indian Medical Research Council studies in 2012. They have been able to establish with data that those people living across river Ganges in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal are more prone to getting cancer as compared to other people living across other habitations. So this is something which is really a point of greater concern. And apart from cancer, I would say the disease burden is really high in these communities living across Ganges.
The team's departure from Rishikesh took them from the river to the streets. Due to severe drought and low river flow volumes, bicycles were required to retain the human-powered nature of the expedition. A 31-kilometer pedal instead of a paddle.
So to come here and to see all these people on the beaches chilling and like playing loud music, I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? And yeah, it definitely, the urbanness is striking. This has been beyond spectacular to have an audience with the Swamiji, the Swaminiji at the Paramarthiketan.
लड़कियों को नहीं पढ़ाते यहाँ?
नहीं, यहाँ बॉयज का।
छोटे बच्चे ने कितने कलेक्ट किए? चप्पल पहन के आई हो अगली बार से, नहीं तो कांटे चुभ जाएंगे तेरे को। खीर गंगा कहाँ पे है?
खीर गंगा कुल्लू में।
The team began its expedition in the mountains near Gomukh and the Gangotri Glacier 16 days before they arrived in Rishikesh. On January 14, 2017, 5 million people were expected to attend the Ganga Sagar Mela. The early arrivals already there were desperate for clean water.
So I know this is completely ridiculous, but if you know me, you know, like, I don't really do anything by half measures. And it's my birthday, so I couldn't think of a better way to spend this day with a lot of new friends, a lot of strangers, and a lot of glitter, which is actually biodegradable. Thank you, Alex. Also, if you do not know, it's World Toilet Day. It used to sound funny to me, but having seen how important having toilets are to women and to people in general here, we've been working really closely with WaterAid India. So thank you very much for your birthday wishes that even if you didn't send, I'll thank you anyways. Here's Shilp signing off with Team Gandhi somewhere in the background. Maybe another 1,500 to go. It's going to be quite an adventure. Please, please keep following us. Lots of love. Shilps.